Christmas crypto cats. My name is Tom. I'm the crypto investor, and it's time for our weekly market roundup of the crypto space. As ever, we start with the heat map, top 100 tokens in crypto, and you can see that we are green again. Isn't it nice? And it's interesting because it's not the big boys. It's not Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are really moving the needle. It is the other layer one alternatives. It's DeFi, it's a few of the memes, it's gaming tokens. And this is kind of going against that traditional belief that the money pours into the top of the champagne pyramid and trickles down into the big alts and then into the low cap gems. So we're seeing the kind of opposite happen here. This is coming straight into the layer ones and alternative tokens. So what's going on? We'll get into it in a minute. But we are seeing Terra Luna up 34% and out into all-time highs, breaking new ground, hitting $100 right now, as is MATIC, also hitting all-time highs at $2.80, both top picks of the channel here. So we're delighted to see that. We've also seen really strong moves from the likes of Atom and DOT, and NEAR is up 62%. We'll have a look at that in a minute as well. And DeFi has made a move. It's been a long time since we've been able to say that, but you've got Aave up 50%, and Sushi up 40% as well. So yeah, as well as Convex and Curve looking extremely, extremely strong. Let's look at the bubbles. Not really taking anything more from the bubbles. I don't know what Toncoin is. I don't know what Rose is. But, just we can see that we're getting 30s and 40s all over the board from the top 100 tokens here. KDA, one which we picked, starting to turn and look quite nice at the moment. By the way, if you do appreciate the channel, if you do like the content, please press like and also subscribe and comment. I really appreciate it. Looking at, so this is kind of interesting. DeFi Llama do this, which is looking at the total value locked, so the amount of money locked on different blockchains. And of course, Ethereum is way out in front with 160 billion locked on their blockchain. But this week, after a monumental week for Terra Luna, it increased by 30%, and it now has taken second place with 21 billion locked. Binance Smart Chain static, left behind. Then we have Solana, Avalanche, Phantom, Polygon. Phantom with a very good week, and hence why their token price is up 25%. But this is something we'll be keeping an eye on more and more. And really, what we're seeing is Ethereum keep being eaten away by these other. I mean, if you look back here, Ethereum was at 95% of the total value locked at the beginning of the year, and it's given up it's given up 40%. So this is a dramatic move in 1 year. You can see this is kind of like what we saw happen with the market cap of Bitcoin in 2017. Market cap of Bitcoin starting at 95% of the total market cap of all of the crypto space. And so, we're really seeing that division of block use across other L1s, as of course Ethereum wasn't able to scale quite quick enough, and so people were drawn to cheaper fees on alternative blockchains. Questions, of course, of whether they are able to be as decentralized as Ethereum and as secure. But it's undoubtedly, this is a trend which we'll probably see continue. And I'm trying to find a chart which demonstrates this quite well, but I'm not going to find it in time. Yes, I am. Yeah, this is looking at the contract deployment on Ethereum, and you can see that really ever since gas got, basically with the popularity of NFTs, once the gas got really high in June, that contract deployment, so basically the same as what would lead to TVL, just fell off a cliff. And so that's what we're seeing really, is an inverse correlation of that. All right, so it's festive time, and I want to just share this, that 5 years in a row, crypto has gone up from the 24th of December to the 6th of January. And this is to do with the Crimbo Limbo, when your investors out there are unable to get their action in the market due to this festive lull of everything being closed. But crypto never closes. The crypto casino is 24/7. And so many people are then onboarded into the crypto space and looking to buy crypto. And so we have actually had this, if we are up by the 6th of January. This will be the 6th year in a row that we have witnessed this, and I think that's something worth paying attention to be honest. And of course, I'm sure some people are giving crypto as Christmas presents, as NFTs as well, and so yeah, it's hopefully a good time to be invested. Retail on Coinbase, this is basically looking at the last few years. You can see how much retail has gone down, and because of these last few years, institutional investments are what move the needle. And I think this is a trend we're going to really see play out further in 2022. And as you think the market caps of the cryptocurrencies at the top, like Bitcoin, they're sitting at nearly $1 trillion. Retail can't really move that needle very easily, but institutions can, and it's institutions that have really come in a big way. So the institutions are here. This is kind of what we need to pass that baton for this next stage. Obviously, Jack Dorsey is very upset about this, and we'll talk about that in a minute, because it means, of course, venture capitalists are coming into the throng. But it's just very evident that is the case. I mentioned POKT last week. This is a cryptocurrency I'm extremely bullish on. And you can see that their relay count, basically the number of nodes they have firing across their blockchain, is just flying exponentially up, as are their revenues. And I expect this to continue strong into 2022 and beyond as well. There's still questions over the tokenomics of this project, but in general, it's seeing huge amounts of traction, and that's what you want. So POKT, as I said in my last video, you can only buy it over the counter. So you have to go onto Pocket Network's website and you'll find links to where you can buy it over the counter, but well worth having in your bag, in my opinion. That's the same one. So it's quite a Terra focused roundup this week. Getting a bit obsessed with Terra. As I said, the TVL has just hit 21 billion. The token's at $100. What's going on? So this is Delphi Digital. If you're not familiar with how Terra works, Terra or Luna is basically the Earth and the Moon pulling opposingly. So you have the UST, the stable coin, and the more that UST is adopted, every time that a new UST is created, some Luna is burnt. And so the more demand there is for UST, the more Luna is burnt. In fact, if UST can grow 150% in 2022, this will create over 13.8 billion UST, which is enough to burn over a third of the Luna circulating supply. I mean, this is just an example of that. So that would take us up to $21 billion market cap for that stablecoin UST, which would mean we'd be burning a third of the circulating supply of Luna. So just imagine what kind of price action this will create. And this is not that ridiculous as a hypothetical example. And just jumping back, like looking at the stablecoins here, this is what's Tether. Is it going to actually tell me if I go into this? I'm going to have to check in a minute. But, here is UST, and it's jumping up through the charts. And what's also helping to fuel the demand for UST is that this week, of course, on Christmas Eve, Binance have announced that they're going to be adding UST as a trading pair, as well as a Spell and MIM. So, and on that Spell and MIM point as well, this is one of the big catalysts this week, is that Spell, Abracadabra Money, had a MIM staking pool. Where is it? Here with UST, which has been massively adopted. Am I right in saying that that's $1 billion has been put into this? They call it their degen box strategy. Huge amounts of demand, where you can basically, and this is really cool, like you can stake your UST and receive MIM for it, and then they will effectively leverage this for you several times. And as long as UST does not lose its peg by more than your set amount, so you could set it at like 80%, then you can borrow significant amounts of collateral on here and earn about 70% APY on your stable coins. Anyway, it's some, witchcraft DeFi that I'm still not the hottest on. There's many channels that you should be following which are far better at this, like the calculator guy, for example. But yeah, amazing returns out there to be had, and this is one of the things that's just fueling the demand for Luna. As is Astroport, which is another thing. So there's so many cool projects being built on the Terra ecosystem, and you can help bootstrap this project by staking some UST with them, and they will remunerate you with their Astro tokens in the future. And so this is another thing that's created huge amounts of demand for UST. I've done this, and I encourage you to do so. In fact, tomorrow or today is the last day to do so. So it launches. You can do it tomorrow. So it launches on December 28th. So yeah, well worth dropping some in here. Not financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet. If you've done any DGen NFT stuff on OpenSea, then you will be entitled to this airdrop. If you haven't already heard about it, then you probably don't use Twitter. But yeah, go to the Open DAO and connect your wallet. And depending on how much NFT purchasing you have initiated on OpenSea, you'll receive a airdrop. Some people have had millions. I got a few grand. Thank you. Happy Christmas. So yeah, connect your wallet and claim your airdrop. Whether it has a future, I don't know, but it's a really solid community. They've got 200,000 people of those who have initiated an NFT purchasing. Maybe it goes somewhere, but yeah, I did sell 75% of mine. Sorry. This is interesting in the NFT space that Bored Ape yacht clubs have flipped CryptoPunks. I think momentarily, but I think it's now confirmed that they are. That they actually have flipped longer term. Bored Ape Yacht Club, of course, just has this increased utility and adoption through projects with Adidas and others. It's becoming a cultural phenomenon. I'm happy to be holding a mutant. I imagine the dogs one will be flying up alongside this as well. The dog mutants or whatever they are, I'm not sure, but it's just showing you that NFTs are not dead. Bored Apes are, I think there are something like 55 ETH, 56 ETH floor right now, and continuing to fly up in value. And they are releasing a game, which will be Mutants versus Bored Apes, that I think also is helping to fuel a lot of this demand. Aave are working with Swiss Bank to help basically provide the institutional onboarding aspect, so help with the KYCs and AML compliance piece. And so yeah, more and more, this is one of the reasons we've seen Aave up 50% this week. If they do achieve this, it's going to pave the way for institutional allocation of capital into DeFi. And we're really seeing DeFi starting to move this week, and this could be one of the major catalysts for that. And we'll look at the DeFi charts shortly. So yeah, Jack Dorsey, since leaving Twitter, has been vehemently denouncing Web3 and saying that it's basically just a place for VCs to make more money. I completely disagree with the man, and you can. This is looking at the initial public sale of different blockchains, and you can see like Ethereum was 80% to the public, not VC whatsoever, as with EOS and Cosmos, and even Binance was 50%, Cardano 80% or so. So these were not VC projects. Okay, yes, new ones like Solana and Celo were, and Avalanche to a lesser extent. But anyway, it's just because, as rightfully said here, sure, VCs see value and they latch on to the projects. You can't write off everything that VCs invest into. Otherwise, it would be every technology created over the last few decades. Anyway, and this is just a bit of delightful hopium to pop in your pipe. Looking at the Ethereum chart, comparing it to the MATIC chart, Ethereum 2017, you can see that MATIC is following a very, very similar RSI reading, as well as this pennant formation, and we will look at that in a sec because MATIC is running very nicely. This is DeFi. All right, let's just start with the total market cap of crypto. We're back up to $2.4 trillion. dollars in crypto. It had a nice bounce here. I mean, it's all textbook stuff. It's just where we thought we were going to bounce. And we're now coming into resistance, really, where we'd expected support. We didn't want to break 2.4. And this kind of coincides with where Bitcoin and Ethereum are finding a bit of resistance. A break here and things get really juicy again. We could easily see another 40% move to the whole crypto space. So that would be nice, wouldn't it? And looking at Bitcoin, we were in this 45-day downward channel, and we have broken the channel. We've since come back, we've dawdled a little bit, which is to be expected, but I would say that the downward momentum has now been broken, and I would say that we've got to come and test 53,000, and if we break above 53,000, then we probably make our way to all-time highs once more. Ethereum has been lagging a little bit to Bitcoin. Let's not draw that there. Much like Bitcoin, we needed to break this line. We did, and we've formed. You can see a series of higher lows here. Really, it feels like a lovely launch pad. I think, again, we just need to break 4,200 and we head up to 4,700 very, very quickly, in my opinion. In fact, I'll leave that on there, but make it extremely faint because I don't think that is going to be in any way resistance for us. All right, so still there, Christmas cats. So yeah, looking really, really strong. I've got an alert set here for 4,200, and I will be putting on a very lightly leveraged position on a break of there. This is looking at Bitcoin versus Ethereum. We are down just a few percent. Down 5% Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and just really moving sideways. Again, a break of here, and we begin the next leg up. I just see it as a consolidation before heading higher. If you consider the ratio, there's been a 40% move. We'll probably go sideways and then another move up. So DeFi is an important story this week. DeFi has been so sleepy and dull. Okay, it's managed to have a juicy week, up 30% as a sector, bouncing very nicely off this channel. And DeFi versus Ethereum, the most depressing chart in crypto, excuse me, has been in this horrible downward slope. If we look at that on the weekly, we did say that maybe the bottom was in. We've had 2 green candles, and for the first time in year maybe, we've actually got 3 weeks in a row where DeFi has outperformed Ethereum. And so either it has just sold off too hard and we're catching up, or maybe we are at a momentum changing point here for DeFi. So, tokens like Aave and Yearn and Sushi have all got very, very cheap comparatively. Some of them have all, I think Sushi fell out the top 100. I would say we'd need a break of this downward trend line to kind of confirm perhaps a momentum change here. But DeFi in the short term certainly is looking very good. You can get exposure to this whole space with the DPI index token, and I think you can buy that on MATIC as well to avoid the gas. All right, Luna, look at that. Beautiful move, of course, 100 providing that big psychological barrier, as you'd imagine. I took a clone of this line here, and I think, I think we just coil before breaking it, just because just the tokenomics, it's not fair. The UST leading to the burn of Luna, and it's only going to propel this higher. I think this is one of the most important charts this week, which is the dominance of Bitcoin. So how much of the total market cap of the crypto space Bitcoin represents. And you can see that we're currently breaking that 40% line. So we've tested it here, found support, bounced off, tested it, found support, bounced off, and coming in for that third test. Now, normally this would mean a break, and I expect it will be a break, which really would be potentially kind of alt season situation. and would lead to a much further move here. We will see, because Bitcoin, looks fairly poised to rally, but I wouldn't bet against this breaking down. And if we look historically at what that means, it's only ever been below it once before, which was the very kind of peak of the Ethereum mania. Sorry, no, actually the altcoin mania. So you can see that historically we're at very, very, very low levels for Bitcoin dominance. So historic stuff. We'll see how it goes. Ethereum dominance giving back a lot of its gains. It was up at 22.3%. It has given back 10% of its dominance back to 20% or so. You could look at it as a retest and resumption up. But as I said, Ethereum in the short term, feeling the heat from cheaper L2 solutions out there. L1 solutions out there. And until we can really see the scaling working for Ethereum, it may continue to lose market share. I'm still uber bullish. It's still my biggest holding. It's still 50% of my portfolio. And I did have a tweet I wanted to share about that, that I did not realize, and perhaps you did, but I didn't realize that many estimates are that once we get the merge in April, May time, that you will get a yield of around 20 to 25% for staking your Ethereum. I had no idea it was going to be that high, which, that combined with the burn just makes it uber bullish, and functioning almost more as money than as a functioning kind of broad adoption layer. Anyway, who knows how it's classified, but both in many ways. And what else shall we look at? Just looking at Luna's dominance, you can see Luna's now 1.5% of the total market. Still got so far to go. Solana is 2.6% of the total market, not far off its all-time highs. And MATIC, we must have a look at MATIC. MATIC has just broken through today to all-time highs, now out in price discovery. To think only 2 weeks ago we were testing this lower band line here at $1.7, and here we are at $2.7, $2.8. I don't set price targets, but I think MATIC has a tremendously bright future. I see this token, getting up to 5, 6, 7 over the course of the next 3 to 6 months or so, should we keep this bull market wind behind us. And looking at MATIC's dominance, nearly hit an all-time high at coming up to 1% of total market, 0.83 or so. All right, Crypto Cats, that is it. I hope you had a lovely Christmas and have a fantastic new year. I will aim to get more videos out to you soon. As ever, this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet. And please like and subscribe. Yada, yada, yada. All the best.